What's good, everybody? Welcome to another exciting episode of Full Circle. I'm your host, as always, Harmon Jr. Please feel free to find me at Harmon Jr. on all your favorite social media, on whatever platform you like to interact with people socially. Damn, that sounded good.
That did. Did you ever make your Tinder profile or the
I
full
did
circle
it.
Tinder?
I did it.
Damn it.
I did. I need to. Thank you for reminding me. That's
That's
gonna
what I'm here
that's gonna
for.
be a weekend project right there. It's gonna be a weekend project.
I look forward to it.
Yes. But thank you for joining me, people. As always, we have Francisco Aguilar, who is our E3 2021 correspondent. Real quick, Frank, for all those who don't know who are you and what do you do, which they should now because, you've been here all month. We still got one more
All
show
month.
with you. So
Let's
just
go.
just in case they just hopped in somehow.
Just in case. What's up, ladies and gents? My name is Francisco. I'm based out of Houston, Texas here. So I am like everyone else and their mom, I'm a YouTuber. I primarily focus on gaming tech reviews where I talk about, microphones, headsets, consoles, controllers, games from time to time. Had a podcast that I did with some friends of mine out of Puerto Rico, known formerly as the Weekly Farcast. A new name is pending. We'll figure something out. Odell, you might be able to help me. I can't come up with names to save my life.
All right.
And
Fun
then other than
fact:
that,
I came up with
yes,
the
go
name
ahead.
for this show during episode 1. It was called the Odell Show Yawn, and I came up with the name of the show at the end of the show because I made a comment about how we always come full circle, and I was like, "Well, there it is. There it is."
See, I can't have that kind of epiphany. Like it just doesn't happen to me. That's okay. That's okay. But yeah, so basically, I'm just a YouTuber. Talk about video games with people just like yourself, and here we are talking about video games again.
Yeah. All right,
Eh,
people. I'm not gonna tease y'all with a long, clever intro. This is the E3 2021 wrap up show. We're about to, we're gonna put it all out there. That's what we're gonna talk about. We're probably gonna tangent onto something at some point. But hey, here it is. And real quick, I want to get a disclaimer, people, because I've been seeing all over the internet where people don't want you to criticize E3, and I'm like, there's a difference between being a dick and criticizing. We at Full Circle are never intentionally a dick. And if we ever are, we like to correct ourselves. We're professionals. But we do criticize because things are worth criticism. We work in media, journalism, what's the catch-all phrase? Influencers, all these things. And all these things are very opinionated things. And the nature of opinions, sometimes they're not always good. But there is
Right.
a correct and incorrect way to deliver them. So
Yep.
believe me, people, you're probably going to disagree with a lot of things we have to say. And
Oh
that's not
yeah.
targeted at no company, none of the employees. They're all great people, all do fantastic work. But just how you could listen to this show and be like, damn, Odell sucks as a host, and here's XYZ reasons. You are entitled to that opinion. And I will give you XYZ reasons why you are completely and utterly wrong. But you get the
Agreed.
point, people. So if you disagree, cool, hop on Twitter. We can debate it there. But don't be a dick. It ain't that hard. Now, with that out of the way, Francisco, I need
Wait
to
one
know.
second. One
Okay,
second. Did
all
you
right.
did you say don't be a dick and in hard? Like
I did. I said, don't be a
that was
dick. It's not that hard.
that was fantastic. I'm just wordplay is amazing right here so far, y'all. Love it.
I know, man. You know what? I'm got to. Write that down. Well, as I'm writing that down, Frank, let's just bear it out. What did you
Let's
think of
go.
E3 overall before we start getting into the nitty gritty?
Okay, we're gonna start off with the big guns, right? Ready?
All right, let's go.
I don't think it should have happened.
Oh, you think we should have just had another blank year for the E3 track record?
I think we should have just had another blank year. Not to say that it was a travesty or some sort of like catastrophic event. By no means it wasn't that, but I think that E3 had little to no identity this year. And the reason being is like I felt like every single showcase was a very different thing from one company to the other. And you would expect that being that they're different companies, but some of it felt like just commercials. Like just a ad you would see for like 20 seconds scrolling through some
Square
sort of
Enix, Square,
right.
Square.
Exactly.
Let me clear my throat.
Exactly. Right. And so I don't know. And then also like, yes, COVID, right, obviously has had a major impact on what companies have been able to produce or get done in the last year and a half. So maybe it was a little premature to have E3 so soon after the pandemic. I don't know. I just to give you the broad stroke of my thoughts. I don't think E3 should have happened.
Oh, okay. I'm a little more optimistic. Um I don't know. Given what I've seen, I can probably say a blank year probably shouldn't happen. I don't know if E3 could have just naturally survived with two blank years. There needed to be something. With that
No,
said,
absolutely.
I'll start with my positive sandwich, good bad good thing. I don't know, I saw that on Family Guy. I forgot what it was called, but anyway,
That's a thing. That's a thing.
yeah. All
I
right,
like it.
so the good thing was I've always felt that E3 has never had a like what's the word I'm looking for here? Like a true blue definitive this is E3 show. What I mean is every major outlet covers it, IGN, GameSpot, Kotaku, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. You know, some of them have booths on the floor doing live coverage and things like that. And so if a casual person was like, E3 is happening, where do I go to watch E3? I would be like, there really isn't anywhere to go watch E3. You know, you would pick IGN or your favorite gaming media outlet and just kind of watch them and what they do.
Right.
So I like that this year E3 had, you know, the E3 stage. They got hosts from the different major outlets, and that was the definitive. All right, here's E3 stage with the E3 host this year, and I like how, you know, if they continue this going, that they pick you know, whatever major outlets they want to pick and pick a host from that, and then it's a collective unified effort. You know, each of the media outlets still do their own thing, but here's the E3 stage, the E3 channel. You know, there's an actual presentation that leads into the other things. So I'm like, this is something that needs to happen because like you said to your, it didn't feel like it had an identity. I felt like this was the first year it may have more a cohesive identity compared to just find the news wherever you get news from.
Right. No, that makes total sense. I think just to kind of briefly add on to what my sentiment here is that imagine, Odell, do
Mm.
you think E3 would have been a more quality experience had they not done anything this year, but then came back and did it next year? Now, financially speaking, as a business, there's no way they probably could have survived not doing it. So, like, I completely understand why they did it, and I also think that it was an act of service to the fans, if you will, right? Because
Mm.
everybody's been longing for this kind of event. But I don't know. You're right. Like there was more cohesiveness, right? So E3 was more at the center of managing, I guess, the filtering of all the presentations and everything out, as opposed to, like you said, like in the past, I would go to, oh, let me go on IGN and see like what happened on E3 today, and let me see what happened with with Kotaku's people, who they talked to today. But now it's just like E3 was the helm of it all, so it was a much more cohesive experience. So you're on nail on the head on that one.
Yeah. So, you know, the bad thing was outside of that, like you said, I can see the nature that, you know, it felt like trailers. Again, it felt like what we kind of touched about last year, or every company just kind of did their own thing randomly and was just like, hey, we're going to drop it on this date. We're going to drop it on this date. But now we had the guys that it's just under the E3 umbrella, but it still had that, I don't want to say random because it was clearly planned, and, you know, they led to this, but it still just kind of felt like, for example, so over the course of the 4 days, 4 official days of E3, where it was like, okay, yeah, we're having something at 9 a.m. Here's the big guy, and then something at like 4 p.m. and another one at like for a day of E3. I'm just like, there's I'm hyperbole people. There's three presentations, all 6 hours apart.
Yeah.
Like, to me, that felt weird. I remember it was like, oh yeah, just watch Ubisoft Forward. When's the next thing? 3 hours from now. Yeah, 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 yeah. I'm at work.
That's how my life was like right now. I worked the whole time.
Yeah, so I wish that, you know, I don't want to say padded with, you know, insignificant things, but and, you know, understand growing pains and stuff, and just kind of like the Game Awards. If we continue this format, because people, the first Game Awards, I was there. It was, first of all, nobody was there. I'm talking about 1/4 capacity of people, not joking. And it might have been less than 1/4, but the whole Nokia Microsoft Theater, wherever the correct name is it now, it was 1/4 full, and all you had to do was get a ticket. Was basically go to the website and say, I want a ticket, and they just gave them
Oh,
out.
dude,
Yeah,
where was I when that
it was
happened?
it
I
was
would
free.
love to
The
go.
first 2 years, I went was like that. You just basically had to sign up and they emailed you a ticket. I mean, yeah, I had to get myself to LA, but other than that, like if you just lived there, you could have just went. You could have literally like woke up the day of and just went essentially.
Wow.
So I understand how where things start and where things end up are night and day, obviously. But it for again an event that's stretched across 4 days, and when I think of a day, I think of like an all day of event and affair. A shout out to the host that was able to fill that time in, talking and discussing and doing their things. But it was
Right.
just like I felt like over 4 days, I was just really waiting for like 2 or 3 things to actually happen or show. And
Mm-hmm.
those things themselves are maybe like an hour long. So I'd say the 4 day E3 could have very much easily been like the day and a half E3.
Yeah, probably down to 2, maybe if that.
Yeah.
Because you're right. Like it's the big presentation would happen in the morning, and then after that, it's like okay, there's some smaller things happening. Not, I don't want to really say smaller. That might be condescending, but there's some other presentations happening in between the big guns, and then you're like, well, to your point, like man, this is like another 4 or 5 hours away, and I got to go to work, right? So you don't even get to see that presentation. You got to watch a rerun, but I remember making a comment. I think the last episode where we talked about where like I felt this was the most well balanced schedule. Well, ladies and gents, that just goes to show that on paper anything can look great, but in execution, it's a very different story. Because it was almost it just felt like for it being a 4 day event, we didn't get 4 days worth of content
I'm with you on that.
announcements. You know what I mean? It's just like something, and I think honestly, dude, I think Sony not being here. It's a very big factor in that.
Oh, most
Not just as a
definitely.
fanboy, but like I think like Sony filled a huge gap, a huge void, or left. I'm sorry, Sony left a huge void when they stepped away from the whole E3 thing. But yeah, I just didn't feel like it was 4 days worth of content, to be honest with you.
Yeah, and honestly, I remember it was basically what it felt like was Microsoft happened, and then I was waiting for Nintendo to happen, and after Nintendo happened, despite day 4 still being jam packed with things, jam packed on paper, like E3 was over in mine. The second E3, a second Nintendo's presentation ended, E3 was over in my mind. Like, and this is me not talking as a journalist, just talking as a pure fan. It was like anything else that happened after Nintendo's presentation, I'll catch an article. Was my mindset.
Yep, I completely understand you there.
Yeah,
It was
but
just like, ah,
yeah, but and then the good thing, like I said, I like the cohesiveness structure. I like the again the media coalition that they did, and I
yes.
really hope to see that going forward. Like, Golden Boy, uh, uh,
Greg Miller, and then
Greg
like
Miller, uh,
Jackie.
yeah, Jackie,
Uh,
Greg Miller, Golden Boy, Michael from GameSpot, and then I know I'm forgetting one other. Forgive me, please. I'm forgetting 2 others, but my point is, all the hosts did great, and
yeah,
I really hope they did great. I'm not saying I won't want to see them again, but I hope the trend is that we get 5, 6 other hosts next year, and then we get, there's this rotating host. That way it feels fresh. We get new voices. We'll have Jeff Keighley. He ain't going nowhere. He'll
no, yeah.
probably be he'll be the mainstay. But I really cut those fresh. And for what it's worth, it was a very diverse group of people presenting this year, and I appreciate that. I know inclusion is big in gaming, and I know it kind of goes up and down, up and down. But it seems the right enough people still care, so I appreciate that.
Hmm.
Even on the presentation, like the people that they show presenting games or who worked on games,
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
kudos to them. I appreciate. I
And
was like,
I think it's nice to see. Like, I think you're playing into this point of like diversity and inclusion, as they would call it in the professional world, right? Um, and this whole idea of unification, because you got the peoples like Greg from Kind of Funny, and Jesus Christ, I'm blanking out too. Anyways, because typically you'll see things like, oh my God, like IGN versus Kotaku, or the fans, or the fans of those respective websites. But because this was the first E3 post pandemic, I feel like they really wanted to go for like a unified message. Like, we're not Kotaku, we're not IGN, we're E3, we're all gamers, we're all here to enjoy this whole event as together as a whole. And it did feel very nice to see that. just because sometimes gamers we can really put ourselves in some trenches and go to war over these things, man. It's crazy out there.
Oh yeah, man. You did like one of my favorite ones I made very clear was I was clearly in the gatekeeping camp of mobile gamers and not real gamers. Stay over there with your nonsense. And
I'm still kind of mad at them, but it's okay.
and now I think back and I in my youth, as people like to say to excuse their bad behaviors, in my youth I was wrong. But I will say this: when it's done respectively and right, I feel like friendly competition is fun. It's like a sports team.
Mhm.
Like
Absolutely.
being in Houston, I hate Dallas and I hate Dallas teams. I don't really like if you're from Dallas. I'm not gonna fight you in the streets. Like I may have some words for you, like fun words, not like I'm gonna fight you in the street words or a stand or anywhere really. So I kind of like when people are like, oh yeah, PlayStation over here are my exclusives, and the Xbox like I'm over here with my Game Pass sucker best, you know, deals in gaming. And I always tell people, I do it for fun, but I mean ultimately, I have Game Pass, I have a PS5, and I have a Switch, so and I mean I give money to all these companies. I truly don't hate any of them.
So you're kind of like a traitor to each one if you really
Yes,
think about it.
yes.
Okay, gotcha. It's
Not
nice to
not
see where your
yeah.
loyalties lie.
Not Nintendo though, because they do no wrong and they don't care about anything. No, no, being a Nintendo fan is just being a traitor to yourself, honestly.
That's why I had to let go, man. That is why I had to let go.
Oh man! All right, Frank. So we got E3 as a whole, but now it's time for the fun part. It's time to talk about the companies themselves, and I'm gonna start with this because I knew it. I called it. Microsoft Bethesda did exactly what I thought they were gonna do. They were gonna show a whole bunch like Xbox whole thing has been a commercial for Game Pass, and yes, that's good, but it's gotten to the point where it's like we understand Game Pass is good. Anything to me, to Odell Evan Harmon Jr., anything Game Pass related, no matter how good at this point, is unimpressive. It's like telling someone sugar is sweet. Sugar is sweet, yes, we all agree it's sweet. We will put sugar on things to make it taste good. Guess what? 90% of things you put sugar on are better, right? Like, it's just better. You got something that's not good, put sugar in it, it's like crack. People are addicted to it. You will get addicted. You can be addicted to sugar. And
It's
it's
the most
delicious.
addictive thing in the world,
Yeah.
actually, from what I understand.
Yeah.
You
More
can
and
put
more.
sugar on top of sugar and it makes sugar better.
Yeah. Exactly. So Game Pass is good. No one is not, no one is arguing the merits of Game Pass. Frank, are you arguing the merits of Game Pass?
No, not one bit.
All right.
I love Game Pass.
Yeah. So unless you were telling me Nintendo games are coming to Game Pass, there is nothing Game Pass can do that could just floor me at this point. That it just isn't.
It
So
really hurt my feelings that didn't happen.
wait, how did
That
it?
they didn't. Yeah, dude. Like that was my go-to prediction, man. Jesus.
It was. So when they were like, "Oh, Yakuza's coming to Game Pass," I was like, I already beat that." They were like, what's the best game of the Hades is coming to Game Pass. I was like, I already played and beat that too, but that's cool. That's cool. That's I was like, I haven't played the other Yakuza's. I saw Like a Dragon. I was like, I could play those. I think they're already out. That was a new announcement. But they were like, Psychonauts release date, and I was like, cool. I want to play this. I'm amped for this, but also like, I mean, at this point, it's supposed to been out like 5 years ago. Hyperbole, people, hyperbole. But yes, I'm happy. And then they were just like, this is coming to Game Pass. I was like, that's cool. This is coming to Game Pass. That's cool. And I was like, yes, some of these games I may actually play. I missed it out on the first time. Now I could play it for free, technically. And then they were like, Halo Infinite's still a thing. I was like, that's cool. We got some kind of story trailer. And I'm gonna piss some people off probably with this.
Let's do it. I want to do. I'm riding with you on this one. Let's go.
I was so happy that they were revamping Halo. I was like, Halo needs a soft reset. It was getting in the weeds of I just don't care. So I was like, ooh, new multiplayer. And I was like, ooh, Cortana's gone. Now we can do something again. And we make Cortana 2.0. And I'm like, okay, all right. We're retreading waters. I was like, why? We could have had a compelling story, all the story. Now we just okay. Well, all right. All right, Halo Infinite. Goodbye. Goodbye.
It just boggles my mind because the assuming that it's in game and they say it's in engine footage, right? So the story cinematics that we saw looked beautiful. I think Master Chief's design and all that, I think that looked fantastic. That was crispy clean looking, right? Uh, I'm not gonna even try to pretend like I know anything about Halo's story because I barely played a little bit of the campaign for part one, so I'm not gonna say anything for or against it. But well, now that I think about it, it makes more sense. They dove more into multiplayer, which is what people are gonna play. So now my point's kind of invalid, but it was so little that they showed of the single player, and I guess me being mostly a single player gamer, I wanted to see more about the story, but like the multiplayer for Halo, with all due respect, looks like Destiny, which I know Destiny was a Bungie game, which was probably heavily influenced as Halo. But I saw that and I'm like, this doesn't scream Halo to me. This looks like Destiny to me now. So what did we really do in the last year? Obviously, we touch up the visuals, but it's on Game Pass.
You know, I'm gonna follow that up with you. I said this about if it was the last Halo or the Halo before, but I said Halo multiplayer started to take cues from other multiplayer games to where it stopped feeling like Halo. So now we
Mm-hmm.
got the grapple and some of these other superpower things and stuff. I
Yeah.
don't know if they're taking a cue from some of the things you can do in a battle royale games per se or things. And I'm just like, you don't always have to add the newest shiniest mechanics to because you have your identity. Like you
Right.
said, these other games were trying to mimic you. These other
Yes.
games were trying to be you. You just needed to be you. That you Halo 2's multiplayer campaign is so fundamental with shaping online multiplayer that where you don't have to do much. I'm not saying don't innovate. I'm not saying don't add new things.
Right.
But you already have that identity, and I feel like that identity is lost when you try to, add some of the newer things. And when I say newer, I mean none of these mechanics are truly new, but I say the popular. There we go. The popular mechanics from other games integrated into your games. Granted, I haven't played it. I don't know, but I've already felt like this prior, and now it just feels like we keep moving into, you know, for example, I play Apex Legends for a specific reason. I don't want to hop into a different shooter's multiplayer. When you play Overwatch because Overwatch is uniquely Overwatch.
Right.
And it's still, and I play Apex because Apex is uniquely Apex. I don't, and when I play Halo, I want to play Halo because it's uniquely Halo.
Right. Not because it's a mold of, a Frankenstein project of a bunch of different mechanics from other games.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, so I've been working. I'm working on a video for the first time ever. Odell, do you
Mhm.
know that I don't script or write any scripts for my videos at all? I don't
What?
do any scripts at all. Everything that you see in my reviews literally comes right off the dome in the moment as I'm recording it. Right. So for the first time, I'm doing a script, and this is a very big video regarding basically does PlayStation 5 need a response to Game Pass? So I did some research in my endeavors of becoming a respectable influencer. I did some research. So Game Pass, according to an article on Screen Rant, as of April 20th, 2021, 23 million subscribers. All right. That's a
Okay.
huge number. That's a great number. If you're paying $9.99 a month and you do the math, $229,770,000 in subscriptions alone on a monthly basis.
Yeah, that's
Think
numbers.
about that,
That's
dude. And so like that's why I think it's just the Game Pass showcase from now on. Like that is guaranteed. And they're banking on the people like me and you. How many subscriptions you get out there that you don't even use?
oh man. I'm gonna lie and say like maybe one, two tops.
Nah, you don't got one or two tops, dude. I have an Amazon Luna subscription that I've only used one time,
Bruh.
and I still have
Brusky.
it, like charging me like $8 a month. So, yeah, dude. No, I think that. Anyways, that was a sidetrack because I felt like the data was nice to share. Um, it was cool to see Halo. I think it looks beautiful. I think they've done a lot of work with the visuals, but multiplayer. I mean, I'm sure it'll be fun. It just doesn't look like it has its own identity right now.
Yeah.
That's the second time we say that this show.
And I'm gonna beat this dead horse. Sorry, Peter. I'm gonna beat this bush shaped like a horse. Because I said, and it keeps showing me, and I kept seeing people say that, oh, this is the Xbox shut up all the Xbox doesn't have games haters, and I didn't say this online because I didn't want to start a fire because people would have misunderstood what I was saying, but I'll say it here is they still don't have games, and what I mean by that is Game Pass has already had games for days. This showcase just added 26 more to them, or 20. However, I forget how many are coming to Game Pass, but I'm just gonna say 25. It just added 25 more games to our already just godly impressive library. My thing is, I want new games. I want games that haven't been out for a year, or or about to, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yes.
all you did was tell me that this movie is not available on Blu-ray. You didn't tell me a new, like, you get what I'm saying? That's how I felt like. Watching the Xbox showcase was just like now available on Blu-ray.
I will slightly disagree with you here, and I don't think I don't think I really disagree with you much. I think that they definitely helped move the needle away from that argument where that Xbox doesn't have games anymore. Yes, I think they're having a lot of games that we've already seen in other platforms or we've already played come to Game Pass. Excuse me. But I mean, also look at the things that they're going to be releasing that's coming out soon. You talked about Forza Horizon 5 earlier, how it's guaranteed like every year we get a new Madden, right? But you got that Redfall. Like, I don't know if there was a section you wanted to save for later for this, but like Redfall was my favorite thing that they showed, right? Um,
It's my favorite cinematic trailer. I will give it that.
yeah. And yeah, Tris, believe me, I have a lot to say about how there's very little gameplay shown for a lot of the things we saw um, from Xbox. But I think they're moving the needle in the right direction, dude, because I think very slowly it's going to keep happening where they're just going to have more and more Xbox Studio, Microsoft exclusive games coming out. That, yeah, they're going to go to Game Pass. Like, they've already said that. They've committed to it. They've already shown it. They're sticking to that commitment. But I do think, Odell, I think that the argument's starting to die. And coming from a bona fide Sony pony, man, like, I don't even use that argument when I'm talking to people anymore.
Mm. You know what? That is fair. I will say that I can understand the stance of that. They are definitely moving in the right direction.
I don't think they're there yet.
Yeah, I still hold true that that I don't feel like the rallying cry of that. Oh, they have all these games now outside of Game Pass. Let's say let's remove, or not say outside, but games that are new, that are new IPs or new titles, new entries, what have you. I expected to see more from the show.
Absolutely.
Like, because I think
absolutely.
I'm ballparking here. If I had to ratio it, it was 75% games that already existed to 25% games that are going to be coming out.
Yeah.
And out of that 25%, we already knew, let's say half of those.
Right. I was thinking about this morning, like, how much of my disappointment with E3 is my own doing?
Oh,
Overhyping
completely.
myself. You know what I mean, dude? So, because I mean, I wanted Microsoft to blow my socks off, man. I really did. And to some degree, they kind of did, but for the most part, they didn't. Um, it felt very tame. Like, I felt Microsoft is very tame in how they approach what they do and how they show things off and what they announce, as opposed to like Nintendo, who just doesn't give a damn. They just do whatever they want. You know what I mean?
That Nintendo's the ultimate double-edged sword. That they're not giving a damn. It's just a double-edged sword.
Right.
There's no other word I could think to say it. But you've already said, from Xbox Showcase, and I would like to say that most of my critiques on Xbox show is it's really critiques that could be applied to basically anyone who presented this show. Honestly, truth be told.
Yep.
But I will say the best thing I saw out of Xbox, I know it's coming to Game Pass. It's next year. I'm not sure if it's going to be exclusive to Xbox, but Replaced looked insane. It's indie games, 2D. The art style looks bananas, completely bananas. I don't know what the story is. That's next gen indie title. Replace. If you ask me to point to what a next gen indie would look like, it would be Replaced.
You know I'm going to say Forza Horizon 5.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Dude, it just looks so gorgeous. Like, beautiful, man. There's that one... Go ahead.
No. I was going to say, when they did the look how photorealistic it is, and I knew it was going to be in-game, the cars drive through, but I was like, I'm not going to lie. Without any cars moving, you might fooled me. Like, if you just put that on the TV and told me there was just some nature shots and real life nature, you would have had me.
Dangerously close, right? Like, dangerously close. And, I was floored at how beautiful the game. And Forza is a series I play. It's a fun series to play, but really I play for it. I play it for the eye candy. Let's just be real here, okay? But then listen, hot take. You ready?
All right.
They didn't make me care about Starfield.
Oh, thank you. I didn't want to talk about Starfield. They gave us zero new information. I don't know. If you got new information out of that Starfield trailer outside of it's a cool RPG that's going to be amazing, it takes place in space. Like, I'm sorry. I refuse to be hyped for that game because we have no idea what it is. Like, nothing. Zero.
I mean, I think Pete Hines did a thing after, or Todd Howard did an interview talking about some more information about the game. But, like, that's a problem. If you have to do an interview post your E3 showcase to give more details about the game you just showed for the first time, that's a problem. Okay. Not to mention that it's 25 years in the making. No gameplay. Just another pretty cinematic trailer. It was pretty. They were pretty. But nothing. Like, what am I looking forward to? What am I buying when I get Starfield? I'm sorry. What am I downloading on Game Pass for free day one, day and date when I get Starfield? Which is fine. And that's kind of one of the beautiful things about Game Pass. It's that you can take that risk and not take the monetary hit for it.
Yeah. But
I have to say it.
I have a gripe. Like, I know people are hyped, and I am not a person to ever tell someone they don't deserve to be hyped, because when I am hyped, I am hyped. I can't control the sound of my voice. I'm my problem is like, what are we hyped about? It might as well be like me being like, I'm excited for a JRPG. Well, what is it about? It's a JRPG. It's Japanese influence. It's gonna be a lot of hours and probably spiky hair protagonists. It's like, all right, yeah, that's just, you describe a genre. Am I excited about a genre? Not really. I do enjoy some genres over others, but
I think I am about to say something very disrespectful.
All right.
And I'm going to have to ask for forgiveness right now.
Okay.
Why are we hyped? Why are people hyped about Starfield? Because for the first time in a long time, Microsoft fans have something to be excited about that they hope is on par with a Sony exclusive.
This is just blind hype hope.
I think so. And jokes aside, like, I'm not saying that to be mean to the fans, but like I think about it, like, I've never seen a Gears trailer and gotten like, oh my God, freaking crazy hype. I've never seen the Halo 5 trailers when that was dropping, and I was like, holy crap, I gotta play Halo. Oh my God, I can't wait. Oh my God, I'm so hyped. Dude, when I saw Last of Us Part 2 trailers, when I saw the Metal Gear Solid 3 trailers way back in the day, like when I saw all these like Spider-Man trailers, like that stuff generates hype. That generates excitement and interest. And I think that for the longest time, Microsoft hasn't had that kind of game in their repertoire. But now that you have Bethesda under your umbrella, Ella, Thank you. I'm here every day, y'all. That they finally have something to be excited about outside of the norm. I think it gets tiring after a while to be excited about the next Gears iteration, the next Forza iteration, the next Halo iteration, and then you wait another console generation and you rinse and repeat. So finally, they got something a little bit different to be excited about.
I
But
I I can see
we
that.
don't know.
I,
Yeah,
yeah,
and there's nothing wrong with that. And that's not a critique on the fans or on Microsoft, but that's just my hot take, my honest take from the whole situation.
yeah, bro. I still this day because you're right, man. I can't, you know, in terms of Xbox games, I can't think of many Xbox trailers that got me hyped. And I'm
No.
talking about throughout the years. And the closest being isn't technically an Xbox game, but it was semi under that umbrella. LA was Ori,
Yes.
Ori the Will of the Wisp, and
Amazing game.
yeah, and Ori and shit. What was the sequel called?
Oh, Ori and the Blind Forest and Ori and the Will
Oh,
of the Wisps.
I said Will of the Wisp. I said the sequel. Yes, when I saw Ori Will of the Wisp, because Ori the Blind Forest just looked cool, but I didn't know. When I saw Will of the Wisp, I was legit. Ooh, so but that's not really like that's all on Moon Studios, you know. So,
Yep.
but I can still think. I remember the first time I saw the Super Smash Brothers Brawl trailer that featured Sonic as a character. I think that's one of the first few times I legitimately geeked out watching something. The Brawl trailer was amazing. That was like half geeked. When they released the Sonic trailer and it shows Sonic fighting, he goes Super Sonic and like starts messing up everybody. I was like, like mind explosion.
That, but when they showed Snake.
Oh
Like
yeah,
literally that same exact reaction. But when they showed Snake, I absolutely lost my mind, dude.
yeah. I remember the trailer because like you think the trailer ends and then the codec starts and him talking to Commander. And you're like, nah, nah, nah. It's like I'm
There's
doing
no way.
oh, and when the cherry on top is when you learn that there's codec entries for every fighter in the game. Oh my god.
You best believe I loaded up Shadow Moses with every single possible opponent just to hear the codec entry, dude.
Amazing. And you know, funnily enough, one of the other trailers that gave me that wow moment was the first Ultimate trailer, only because it was so good. First of all, they sneaked it into the Splatoon Direct at the end when most people probably wasn't watching, and like thank God I caught it live because you're watching a cool Splatoon, you know, CG trailer, and the way they just pulled a rug from up underneath you was pure genius. The logo, the fire, the new Link Breath of the Wild model of Mario, it was beautiful. The
Yeah.
hype was I remember it literally broke the internet. Like when you tried to tweet about it, like Twitter was down. It was amazing. And two other times, I'll keep this short, people. I'll just name 2 other times. One, the Beyond Good and Evil 2 trailer, which I don't know if the game's ever happening, but it gave me chills. I mean, just chills. Like, because you're watching it and you're like, what is this game? What is this monkey with a sailor mouth, this black chick, this pig dude? And you're like, okay, this looks like Beyond Good and Evil, but you're like, first of all, this is like super mature, so it's probably not. And then like you're in this space, you're kind of just being taken for the ride. And then when it starts to slowly set in that it might be, and then you see Jay and you get that logo reveal, it was oof. And then the second time, well, I digress. It was a teaser. The Final Fantasy VII remake teaser was
That
the
was
thing
it.
of legends. That was
That was it.
yes.
That was, dude. I remember that is one of those trailers that I remember the exact thing I was doing because I wasn't at home watching E3. I was leaving the gym with my then girlfriend, now wife, and my boys we're on this group chat, and they're like, "Oh my God, Frank, you need to like tune in right now." And so I'm sitting down at this table eating my little chicken sandwich, drinking my little protein shake, and I just sit down and I've got my gloves on still, and I just see this trailer, and I'm sitting there freaking out with my girlfriend. And the fact that she didn't judge me was a big factor into why we got married. But dude, yes, dude, what a moment that trailer was, bro.
And it was done immaculately because when it starts, you don't know. You don't think Final Fantasy when it starts. It just kind of it looks like generic. I'm in a train, and then it starts to zoom into the crowd, and you start to see little hints of what's familiar. You start to get a
Mm-hmm.
little bit of hope because for the youngins out there, a remake of Final Fantasy VII, people have been claiming for that game since Final Fantasy VIII came out. I think people wanted the
Yep.
remake. Like the point is, it was like the gaming myth, like something that people want, but it's never gonna happen. It's never gonna happen. We're at Final Fantasy 15. That's never gonna happen. They remade 10 and 10 too. Never gonna happen. you know, too many technical difficulties. Just and then I don't know. I feel like they went on record and was like, we have no interest in remaking this game. Shut the hell up, respectively. and and so they zoom in and you see some. It's that slow build up to. I think it's that I'm probably tripping. Oh crap! It is that, but it's because here's the thing I was thinking. Final Fantasy VII has had a lot of those BS games like Final Fantasy VII Vega, and like these, and
Dirge of Cerberus and all that other shenanigans.
and you got there's like, oh, this is probably gonna be like tactics fighting game. And so part of me was thinking when I figured it was Cloud, I was like, oh, it's gonna be one of those. It's gonna be like some Final Fantasy Heroes, and they're gonna use Cloud to sell it. But you see Cloud, OG gear, train station, and you just see him reach for his sword so subtly, and it's just like, boom, Final Fantasy VII Remake. I was in the building when Sony premiered that, and I think I've told you this before, Frank. The dude next to me was crying.
That's beautiful.
No, overstating, real tears. Not the sad cry, the happy cry. And just the roar. Like, I remember I tell people I hated being there in person almost. Because the roar got so loud, I couldn't hear the music. Like, if like Cloud was saying, like, I didn't know, like he didn't, but if there was someone speaking or something going on, you was unable to hear it. You couldn't hear the music, and they got like massive speakers. You just heard people roaring. That's all you could hear. I had to go back and rewatch the trailer.
Dude, I would love to be a part of a moment like that, man. Like that, to me, like that roar, I thrive. I feed off that, dude. That's awesome.
Yeah. Like, honestly, like, they should have just showed that and just told everyone to go home because.
Right.
But yeah. But
yeah.
the tie this in, I didn't really get that at this E3 at all.
Yep. No, and I mean, like, to the point I was making, like, I don't speak for all of Xbox fans, right? I can only speak of these things from my perspective, but it's just hard for me to imagine. Like, of course, people get excited for new Gears games or a new Forza and obviously a new Halo, but I think that's why people are so hyped for Starfield is because they've got something new. Like, there's a new thing now they've got. So, of course, they're going to be excited for it. But it's very disappointing to get little to no information on the first time you show the darn thing off.
Most definitely. But moving on, man. How did you feel about some of the other showcases? Let's stick with the bigger guns. We don't have time to delve into it. So before we hop into Nintendo, what are your opinions on Square and Ubisoft's presentation?
Ubisoft put me to sleep.
Oh, damn.
Almost literally, like almost literally. And also, y'all, I work like 50, 60 hours a week, so that could be a factor. But they weren't memorable. There was nothing hardly memorable about them, dude. And there was no Splinter Cell, right? Did I miss that by any chance? No.
I mean, he's still getting that mobile game.
Sweet. I can't wait to play that, right? Square, man, what happened?
I was completely wrong. I predicted Square was going to be the sleeper hit. Was wrong.
I blame you, dude. This is all your fault.
Yeah.
This is all your fault, man. And then, not to mention that you launched a demo for the game. It doesn't even work. That's just bad luck. That's all that is. Capcom, I mean, cool. We got some Resident Evil DLC coming out. You didn't announce Resident Evil 4 remake, so I got a personal problem with you now on that. Some nice things coming up with Monster Hunter. I love Monster Hunter, so that's a great thing that they're doing some of that. New Ace Attorney, right? Other than that, no. Like, it was between Microsoft and Nintendo, to me, it was just like
I
nothing
can see
really.
that. Hey, I mean, we're getting Mario plus Rabbids too. I'm excited about that. I
Yes,
enjoy the first game, so
yes.
excited about that. You know what's sad about that? Both of these titles were leaked right before
Mm,
they were showcased. But the thing I always tell people, I love that Mario and Rabbids was leaked like a full on like month, a week before E3. But it was so absurd, no one believed it. I love that story. They leaked that game, I think almost with the complete title. I don't know if it was, but they leaked so much. Like they had screenshots, like some drawings and stuff, and everyone didn't take it real. Everyone was so convinced it was a fake leak. So I almost
right.
feel like it made the reveal that much better because everyone was just like, "Whoa, this is real."
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
Who the hell asked for an Avatar game?
Oh, oh, man. Again, just for the sanctity of time, I was not gonna touch on this. I was just like, bro, like people. I know people have been talking about an Avatar game for a long time, but when they showed it, I was like, I'm not excited about this. I'm excited for the movie. It looks cool. It's Pocahontas in space. I have no desire to play the game. Which, if it ends up being great, kudos to them. I will take that L. But yeah, I was just like, yeah, that this is happening. Like,
Uh, yeah, I'm just gonna stop there. Like, why? But it's okay.
let me put it like this: I've never been so neutral towards an announcement in my life.
Oh yeah, exactly. It's like okay, moving on.
I didn't love it, didn't hate it. It was just like it's happening.
And then
People are excited. I think
the best trailer for me in E3, and I might be jumping ahead, was the Outer Worlds 2 announcement.
that was
When
a
a
good announcement.
trailer can make fun of itself and still announce it's game, great job.
I never played Outer Worlds, Outer Wilds, Outer Worlds. Play Outer Wilds too though. Outer Wilds is a good game. I never played Outer Worlds, but
It's
I
good.
did enjoy the humor of that trailer. I was like, it was good enough to make me be like, all right, maybe this writing really is top notch.
You can
That was
play Outer
honestly a
Worlds.
surprise for me. I felt like the game. I feel like Outer Worlds is still fresh enough to not need a sequel already, but here it is.
Well, you can play it right now for free on Game
Oh,
Pass.
oh, god damn. Best deal in gaming. That wasn't sarcasm, people. It's more or less like, do you need to say it? Do we need to say it? Again, sugar is sweet.
Watermelon Sugar High. Never mind.
I think that's the innuendo for some type of sexual things. I don't know.
That is what my wife has told me. So maybe I should not have used that reference right now.
I
Moving
saw the
on.
I saw the video and was like, I don't know what's going on here, but I think I know what's going on here. But
Can
I
put
don't
one
know.
and one together.
All right. So I'm just gonna say there were some good things, but let's just talk about Nintendo. Because to me, Nintendo made E3. And I don't mean that hyperbole. I will tell you why Nintendo made E3. It gave me things I didn't expect. It gave me new titles that look cool. And it gave me not some wow moments, but some definitely heebie jeebies. Like, let me put it like this. I feel like every showcase missed the mark. And Nintendo didn't get a bullseye, but they at least hit the target, if that makes
Mhm.
sense.
Yeah.
Out of everyone that presented. Like, we didn't get Metroid Prime 4, but we got Metroid 5, Metroid Dread. Complete wild card. Did
Out
not see that
of
coming.
nowhere.
I don't care what no one says. That was hype. That was legit hype right there. I was like, okay, we're cool. We
Man,
got
it looks so good.
we got a remake of Advance Wars, a classic, looked good. Didn't expect that. That was hype. We got Breath of the Wild 2 gameplay. That's how you do a trailer. That is how you get me hyped for a sequel. You show me some story bits. You show me some new gameplay with new mechanics, advancing on things,
Yes.
and you be mysterious with it. Like, what's going on here? Who am I playing with? Who's like? Look at Twitter after the trailer. People are talking about theories, fan theories, this and that, arguing, all that stuff. No one was doing it after the Halo trailer. Just
Nope.
let's be real.
Nope.
No one was doing it after the Starfield trailer. Let's be real. No one was doing it after insert all the other games. The out. No, people were just like, yeah, cool, but there was no buzz.
Mm-mm.
The Metroid Dread. it got people talking and stuff. We're getting a new Mario Party, which honestly is just it's just a makeup for the last Mario Party that sucked. They were like, hey, here are all classic boards, all classic mini games, 100+ mini games, like a whole bunch of boards, downloadable content. So I was like, all right, I'm not gonna give you that one, Nintendo. That was kind of like a, hey, we realized the last Mario Party wasn't all that. Here's what it probably should have been out of the box.
I'd play that. Mario Party Superstars.
Yeah. That. Oh, I'm definitely gonna play the hell out of that.
100%.
That's gonna be like, get the drinks, boys. Let's go.
You know what's impressive about the Breath of the Wild 2 trailer? I forget where I saw this, but there was a graph that Elden Ring is like the most viewed trailer from this whole like E3 quote unquote Summer Game Fest event, at like 10 million something views as of the posting of that article, and freaking Breath of the Wild like at 6 million already, and there was like a 4-day gap in between the two happening.
Oh,
think about that.
Yeah, man. I'm just saying.
I think you're right on the money there, dude. Like Nintendo, first of all, not only was Metroid Dread completely unexpected, you know what else 100% caught me off guard? And I'm so glad they're doing this, dude. I love this game so much on Nintendo Wii. WarioWare.
Getting new WarioWare.
Dude, that's such a fun game to play with people. And like, to me, I thought that was just a dead game. Never coming back, never going to see it again. Here it is now. I think you talk about Nintendo making E3. I'm not going to disagree with you there. I think they did a fantastic job. They were the best presenters, if you will.
Oh, you got Shingu Tensei 5? I may have mispronounced that, but people were freaking out about that.
I'm going to ask a very rookie question. I'm going to get probably hung out on for. Shin Megami Tensei and Persona, are they in any way, shape, or form related?
Yes. Not like story-wise, no, but like, yeah, clearly you see the same monsters in the game.
Yes,
like,
yes.
So I'm not the biggest expert on Shingu Tensei at all. I know I might mispronounce that. I'm sorry, people. But yes, it's like, it's not a shared universe. It's just like
Same art style.
Yeah, same art. I mean, clearly the same people make the games. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah. Okay. So, but I don't know the. I've never played a SMT game, so I can't tell you if there's like an actual. They're in the same realm. Like, I don't know if it's a shared universe, but definitely, yeah, they're in the same vein.
Because I noticed that they had like the same exact. There's like one little fairy monster that they show in the trailer, and it's like
all those monsters you saw in the trailer are in Persona. Those are all in Persona as well.
Nice,
but I don't know the official connection. I'm not that cool.
You're cool enough. You can get it there.
Yeah.
But so Nintendo did a fantastic job, right? And then they did a great blend of like showing new games, things that people weren't expecting. They showed gameplay, like. If I had to rate Microsoft's presentation like the way you would get your grades in school, I would give them a C. Like, I think they had a pretty good presentation. I think they had a lot to show. But they showed way too many trailers and not like hardly any gameplay. And to me, like, if you're going to get me hype and ready for and excited for your games, and if you're going to get me to keep the subscription for PC Game Pass going, like, you got to show me what I'm actually going to be playing, right? Whereas Nintendo actually just kind of made me feel like an idiot for selling my Nintendo Switch because now I feel like, crap, man. Like, okay, and Breath of the Wild 2 looks a lot nicer. Some people are talking about this noise on Twitter like it doesn't look better. It 100% looks a lot better than the first one, which makes me wonder, this might be something else that is coming out on. Maybe it's not just on the Switch.
I'm kind of upset we didn't get the Switch Pro to Super Nintendo, whatever, announced. Like, It because the game industry basically painted it that it was already a guaranteed gonna happen, and it didn't. So I was kind of, but they delivered on all of. Here's the thing. Now I'm thinking about, they got the new Fatal Frame or the remake Fatal Frame. I don't know. I don't know if it's new or remade, but I think the thing that Nintendo did that I will say Microsoft kind of did, but they only did it in the sense that stuff's coming to Game Pass that already kind of existed. So I necessarily don't really count that. Nintendo gave something new, emphasis on the word new, for pretty much every aspect. Like, they were like, okay, here's some Doom Eternal stuff. Okay, that's not new, but it's coming to Switch. But,
right.
But here's SMT. Here's WarioWare. Here's new Mario Party. Here's Metroid. Here's Zelda content. You got the Zelda mini. You got the DLC packs for Hyrule Warriors or Age of
Age of
Calamity.
Calamity. Yeah.
You got the Breath of the Wild 2, and they created more buzz with like it has a title, but we can't tell you because they'll give too much away. Like they hit all the areas that I feel like a presentation should hit. I watched Nintendo was just like, whoa, oh, ooh, like, and here's the kicker. I'll leave it at this with Nintendo. It was consistently stuff we didn't know was happening or coming out, whether it was a remake, a new game, or a project. Versus watching the Xbox. We got Redfall. We got not Redfall. What's it called? Is it called Redfall?
Replaced?
No, replace the shooter.
Oh,
the one
Redfall.
that you're.
Yes, Redfall.
Oh, it's called okay, yeah. So we got like replace Redfall, but I feel like per capita, Nintendo had the most pound for pound new content that you had no idea was happening. Versus every other show was basically things that was either leaked or we basically knew was happening.
Right.
And that's why they win in my book.
And I think too, like you said, it kind of Nintendo touched upon. Nintendo announced games or talked about games that cater to almost a very wide variety of gamer. Right? You got your Metroid fans, your Zelda fans, your action adventure fans, your mini game fans, your sports fans, your horror fans. Freaking what was it? I can't. I'm blanking out on names right now. But the guy from Tekken for Smash.
Oh yeah, Jin Ryu's father, I think his name.
Jin Kazuya.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right. So like, like they just did a little bit of everything. It was like a buffet. It was like a little buffet. You just get a little bit of this, a little bit of that. I think they did a great job, dude. I just think that because they didn't announce the Switch Pro and they didn't talk about Metal Gear Solid being the collection on Switch, they don't get that A from me,
Yeah. Bro, if they would have announced the Switch Pro like after Zelda or at some point, it might have been the best E3 presentation for it. It wouldn't have been the best presentation of 2021. It might have been the best presentation like in the past, like decade sounds too long, but in recent years, that's a nice catch-all term. It might have been the best presentation for Nintendo, if not the show, in recent years, if the Switch 2 was announced in any capacity.
Yeah, dude, it would have been crazy. But thinking back on it now, it's like the Switch Pro announcement should only get its own event.
Oh, most
like
definitely.
It would thinking now. I feel foolish for being excited about an announcement for the Switch Pro because like that never gets announced on an E3 stage. Or what they could have done is like, the Breath of the Wild trailer at the end, like coming out, 2022 on Nintendo Switch and Switch Pro. We'll see you again, XYZ date for the next Direct.
Bro, that
would have been the best way to do it.
That's all anyone would have talked about from now until whatever that date was.
Yeah.
At least
that would have been.
Every other news story would have been that.
Yeah. Hi, Nintendo. My name's Francisco. I'll give you my email later.
but yeah, man. I will say this. I think for its first digital outing, it gives an overall pass for me. I'm not gonna assign a grade to it. It just gets we're on the pass fail scale. It passed for me, and there were some ideas that I hope to see going forward, even when the show returns to a physical show.
Yeah.
I didn't walk out as I would have liked, but I'm not necessarily upset, I will say.
Yeah. Now I know I said at the beginning of the show that I feel like it shouldn't have happened, and I will stand by that. But if we're going to do pass fail, like I'm going to say pass two. There's nothing really that I would say was a complete utter failure. Some showcases just didn't really have much substance to what they talked about, which is for one reason or another. But ultimately, like, I'm glad that if anything, for the sake of this conversation happening, I'm glad E3 happened, right? And for the sake of all the content creators pumping out reaction videos and you know freaking crazy theories about what Breath of the Wild 2 is going to be about. Like freaking Barrett from Kind of Funny is talking about you playing as Ganondorf in this one, apparently, according to his theory.
Oh
And
man, that'll be wild. I've heard some crazy time loop
right. Hey,
theories how like this game is gonna somehow it's like the end and beginning of the series at the same time. Like I don't know, man. It's we're in the thicket of weeds at this point. You know what's the craziest thing I love about Nintendo is what they have some amazing storytellers, and no matter how close we think we're gonna get, I know they're just gonna like completely swerve us all. Because I remember all the Breath of the Wild theories were just ultimately completely wrong in
yeah.
almost every facet.
Oh, dude, imagine. So like every theory I could possibly come up with for Metal Gear Solid 5 and who the hell Ishmael was and all this other stuff, just out the window, dude. Quick side tangent. Have you seen this whole shenanigans with Blue Box Games?
No, tell me.
Okay, dude, there's like a very small Twitter account. Oh God, I think it's called Blue Box Games, and they're putting out a PS5 exclusive game. And they're like, guess if you can guess the name of the game, it starts with an L. First letter is S, and the last letter is L. What do you think that game is?
Wait, first letter is S, last name L.
Yes,
It's not a remake. It's like completely new IP.
they didn't specify.
Okay.
So everyone and their mom literally started bombarding the response with Silent Hill, Silent Hill, Silent Hill. This is Blue Box Game Studios. Their Twitter account has 12.1 thousand followers. They have an exclusivity deal with PlayStation 5. People are like, you haven't really worked on much. How in the world do you have an exclusivity deal with freaking Sony? Anyways, long story short, dude, they're posting these like creepy pictures of like desolate woods, and everyone and their mom is convinced that this is Kojima's like fake account Twitter for the announcement of like the Silent Hill that actually is going to happen now.
I don't know. After that PT thing, you know who knows. And, you know, let's praise PT for its amazing marketing. I still remember the day I downloaded PT day one. I just remember Twitter was just like, "Yo, there's this game PT. It's free on PlayStation. Go download it." And I remember thinking like, "Wow, it's just picture of some woods. Oh, whatever." And I remember booting it up and being like, "Okay, what's this is about?" I mean, I quickly found out it was a scary game. I was like, I can't do this. I can't do this. I can't do this. I can't do this. I, for the love of God, cannot do this.
It was the scariest thing I've ever played in my life, dude.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Lisa can go right back to hell.
You know, she wasn't so bad. It was the baby in the refrigerator swinging out of the ceiling with the blood just dripping down. That's what got me. I'm
Uh,
like, that's and the baby's crying inside.
yeah. Yeah.
Disturbing.
And the whole the disturbing radio, the radio going from like regular radio to like hellish radio, like I couldn't. Like the first time you see Lisa, like when you cross the corner and you see her standing and she disappears, I literally dropped the controller. I was like, like I literally had to like get my remote, physically turn off my TV, and then turn off my PlayStation. True story.
Oh no, dude.
Could not deal.
Well, I think that hopefully there's a lot for these companies that they're going to walk away from and feedback as far as, digital presentations. Because who knows? Maybe we won't be doing anything in person next year. Maybe so.
Maybe,
But
hopefully, fingers crossed.
I hope so, man. We'll go. Let's go to LA, man. Let's just go
Oh
have a
man,
good time.
let's do it, man. Hey, man. I told myself I'll never miss the E3. So hey, man, if you want to get on that, get on some interview. You know what? Let's do it, Frank.
Let's do it. I'm there. I'm glad it happened. I'm glad it happened because I think everybody needed a break from COVID. Um, some things to look forward to. Some things to look forward to. Some more information. Hopefully, Starfield. But no. Other than that, man, I guess I got nothing else for you, really.
Yeah. All right, Frank. I know you're the E3 2021 correspondent, but I said you're here for all of June, so I still got you for one more show. We're doing this again next week. We won't be talking about E3 unless, something crazy, kooky bananas happens. So, yeah, fans
E4.
of Frank, he's still here. Don't worry. You got him for one more week.
Una
You got him
mas.
for one more week. But as always, everyone, thank you. Frank, where can they find you at real quick? They want to get into some spicy debates.
I am always open for these debates, ladies and gents. You can find me on Twitter at GNR_Frank.
That's what's up. That's what's up. And as always, people, you can find me at Harmon Jr. You can follow the show at FC Podcast 23 on Twitter. And that's also Instagram. But also, if you'd like to contribute to the show, that's Full Circle Productions on Patreon. You can subscribe, like Rachel Coleman, Gabriel Garcia, Bake Rice, Ryan Frazier, and Gabriel Cleveland. Thank you all. But remember, you can like, share, and subscribe for free 99. For free.
Do it.
Do it. As always, everyone have a great week and be blessed. See ya.
Peace out.